Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop once again. Today we're working on some power steering lines in this rusty 98 F-150. So yes, it's 20 freaking years old and they're really rusted in there. Now we're not going to go over how to change power steering lines. We're going to go over how to get out rusty power steering lines. My tips and tricks I've learned throughout the years to make it happen and make it happen quick. We're of course changing a line out, making it new. We're not taking it off to pull another component off. We're throwing it away. So these methods are for when you're changing a line out that's leaking or something like that. Let's get down into the engine compartment. And here is the line that's giving me some trouble. This is the pressure line coming from the power steering pump into the 20-year-old steering gear here. You can see it's pretty rusty. And of course the line is leaking also from rust. Now most of these fittings on here are 16 or 18 mil, just as a general information. What you want to use in most cases is not an open end like this, but a line wrench like this that grabs it on, you know, like 3/4 of the sides on there. And that will give you the best grip, because these are going to be, it's a softer metal it seems, and then of course it's going to be rusted and it's just going to round off. So at first you can definitely use line wrenches, just see how bad it is. Now this one, you can see it broke free. I was able to spray some rust penetrant down in here. It's like a little pocket and just sits in there and soaks in. But up here the line, which is common, is frozen to the fitting. Okay, so we can, you know, turn it the best we can and try to get it to move and break free, but most times you're going to end up rounding that and then you're in trouble. Now we're changing this line out, so it makes no sense to fight it. What we're going to do in this situation, because you know, applying heat right here next to the steering gear and everything else can actually ruin seals, what you want to do is actually just lop it off. Okay, once you lop it off, you can use a regular socket on there to get it out. And that'll help you get out, you know, ones that are starting to round, because you're of course using all the sides of the hex on there to pull it out. So we're just going to use a standard cutoff wheel on here, and we're just going to zing it off, make sure we're safe with everything that's around it. Get our old piece of the line out of here. And then, check it out. Put a regular socket on there, and you'll turn it right out. Works real well, because a lot of times these are so stuck, you round them. Now the same idea applies to the power steering pump itself. These lines can be rusty, the fitting is actually behind the pulley, and it can be a real pain to get it out of there without rounding off. Get it close. And then I prefer to use air. And that'll make sure it's nice and clean up top here when you're pulling that fitting out. The best you can anyway. And there you go. It comes right out at that point. The O-ring on there, it's trashed. Now the fittings on the pumps were even harder to get to. Imagine this up inside of the vehicle. It's the belt's in the way, everything's in the way. You cannot just change a line out, it seems. So same thing, these are 18 mil almost always. And you can see I have a good grip on it right here, but a lot of times it's just not the right angle inside of there to get these off, or you're going just a little bit, like 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, and it takes forever. You're changing it out. Forget it. Now, even if it's loose like this right here, you know, it's gonna take forever. So again, it's the same idea. we're just gonna zing it off and then use a socket on there. Okay, what I do is I will take an 18mm deep well 6-point regular socket, you know, chrome socket where it's nice and thin. We'll get it up in here. And we got, what is this, like a 2-foot extension on here, and a 3/8 or maybe even a 1/2 inch ratchet on here, brake torque on initially, and then you can turn it off of here. This way it's nice and easy. You're down here turning it out. We're on it nice and straight, and of course we have 6 sides of the tool turning it off of there, and then it'll come right out. No sweat. This is a really good method if you're working on something that's this old like this. That 18mm can round off very easily. So cutting it off is the way to go. Use a standard socket, and you can get these off no matter how bad they are. It'll save you a major headache when you're fixing your Ford. I'll see you guys next time.